This is the Panama Canal. This ancient waterway used to look like this, but after years of continued use, the effects of drought and the debilitating situation wrought by global warming have turned this once majestic and overflowing wonder into this. Why is this a problem? The Panama Canal serves as a major passage and trade route for large ships and as a major contributor to the world's economy. To tackle this imminent problem, Mexico is rolling the dice with a massive project on the inter-oceanic hallway of the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. This region is the shortest distance that separates the Atlantic from the Pacific Ocean. It is a land route that lies just before the Panama Canal. The government of Mexico wants to build, or rather refurbish, a very old railway on the isthmus. The vision is to construct a modern rail line with standardized ports and extensive industrial parks that would accommodate trade from all parts of the world. This $4.5 billion idea is projected to be a cost-effective alternative to trading via the Panama Canal. This initiative is long overdue as it would save a lot of businesses and economies from future devastation. Are we looking at the birth of a new world power with the establishment of a monopolized passage? How will this project be executed? What challenges might be encountered along the line? And what will this investment do for the economy of southern Mexico? Before we dive in, quickly smash the subscribe button and turn on notifications so we can keep you updated on mega projects worldwide. Let's continue, shall we? If you have ever looked closely at a map, you would notice a tiny strip of land separating South and North America. When you zoom into this strip of land, you'd notice that it isn't as small as you thought. The Panama Canal connects one end of the strip to the other end. If the Panama Canal did not exist, ships would have to circle the end of South America to get to the other side of the ocean. Therefore, this canal helps large ships save miles of traveling by cutting through via the narrow body of water. Another important part of the canal is the Lake Gatun. Now, Lake Gatun is an artificial freshwater lake that serves as a reservoir, supporting the Panama Canal's intricate lock system. Ships traverse the canal and often have to float up and then descend on a watery slope in order to move from one continent to the other. This is why high water is required all year round to enable ships to float. The canal is no longer what it used to be. An unforeseen drought has swept through the region and is taking a large volume of the canal with it. The water isn't replenishing as expected. This problem would delay ships from being cleared at the checkpoint and would ultimately cause ships to carry less cargo, with strict laws on the load size and limits on crossing the canal. Shipping companies are losing money, experiencing delays, accruing operational costs because of the inconvenience caused by the drop in water levels. Some ships are forced to wait back, while some ships that cannot wait take on expensive detours or make offers to the management to skip the long queue. The Panama route is so important that it accounts for about 3% of international trade conducted worldwide. However, the problems brought by climate change make the future of the Panama Canal quite unpredictable. So the question has always been how to rescue this dying water, until the north of Mexico made an ambitious move. The idea was to build a modern railway system that would carry goods across on land, relieving the canal of its duties either partially or entirely. This idea isn't a new one. Mexico proposed this idea in the 1800s, and building a railroad that transported goods across the isthmus has always been a topic for discussion for years, but the idea was always extinguished by the lack of money and political instability. The vision persisted till this very day, and finally, Mexico not only has enough to fund the project, but also has the political capacity to take on this project. The reconstructed train track will run between two ports, the Salina Cruz on the Pacific Island and Coatzacoalcos on the Atlantic coastline. New industrial structures will be built along the route with the hopes of bringing development, massive investments from the United States and globally, as well as upsprings of manufacturing companies. Let's take a look at this project. The focal point of the railroad project is to reconstruct the 132-meter train track to provide a land route for containers. The two coasts, Salina Cruz on the Pacific side and the Coatzacoalcos on the Gulf of Mexico, are undergoing major constructions such as dredging, construction of docking facilities, and installation of advanced cargo handling technologies. This is to ensure that the facilities are fully equipped with the capacity to handle many container ships with super quick loading and unloading time for maximum efficiency. The project will also include the construction of 10 industrial parks in various localities in the region. These industrial structures will utilize available natural and mineral resources for operations and energy generation. Regulations of trade would be amicable to attract foreign investments. There would be interconnected road networks and 3 airports, namely Minatitlan, Huatulco, and Ixtepec. Like building a city from scratch, there would be a network of communication infrastructure to enable the flow of information within the region. What changes will the corridor project bring? The transition from ship to rails will alter the operations, transit time, and general trade procedures, most likely for the better compared to its maritime alternative. The goal is to process up to 1.4 million containers per year by using the shorter land route and to significantly cut costs while doing so. This would lead the shippers to abandon the water route and migrate to land. How will this affect shipping companies? The shipping lines are very much skeptical about losing business to the rail route and do not see the project as a major threat. This is because the ships traverse the Panama Canal every year, carrying thousands of containers over a 50-meter waterway. The railroad, on the other hand, is over 200 meters long. Despite the modernized transportation and technologically advanced ports, the trains would have to travel a way longer distance on tracks than the ships would. Does this make the trains any faster than the ships? Will the high-tech cranes in the land ports make any difference? The shipping line is all about efficiency and credibility. Small delays could have unexpected repercussions. Ships sail on direct paths and do not need to go around hills, unlike trains that also have speed limits and require more complex loading needs. There is a possibility that the Panama Canal ships might still give the tracks a run for their money once they can get through the issue of depleting water levels. The Mexico Railroad may not become the alpha route for cargo and ships, but with the growing threat of global warming, issues of conflicts, and other possible problems, it is only a matter of time before the Panama Canal passage becomes problematic. It would be a huge relief to have an alternative to fall back on no matter the situation. But for this project to succeed, it must include not just Mexican infrastructure, but also those of other nations such as China, the US, the UK, and others on the same soil. This will not only rake in more investment and development for Mexico, but all hands would be on deck to create laws and facilitate a more developed and coordinated transportation system. So, what do you think? Would this railroad investment succeed? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to get updates on major projects across the globe. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you in the next one.